What's good, peeps? Self-isolation day, I don't know. Hopefully everyone is well, though. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's have a look at any news that has happened in the last 24 hours before we talk Mike Tyson. As I get this up on Boxing Scene, has everyone been watching that Michael Jordan documentary, or the Chicago Bulls, but it is really a Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance on Netflix? I absolutely love it. Like, it's just shot so well, the way it goes, like, back and forth years. I just think it's fantastic. I did put out a question on Twitter saying, name your top 5 sporting icons. And that's quite a difficult question, obviously, because there's been so many. But what is an icon? Like, what determines an icon? It doesn't necessarily mean the best in their field. It doesn't mean that. It just means, for me, when I think of an icon, I just think of people that everyone knows. Like, you could chuck them anywhere in the world and people would instantly recognize them. I don't know if that is fair, though. Like, so obviously Ali's number one. Like, if you have someone else at number one, anyway, Ali's number one. Watching this documentary, it made me think that Jordan is number 2. 3, 4, and 5, I don't know. Tiger Woods? Is Tiger Woods number 3? He's very iconic, isn't he? Tiger Woods maybe number 3. Mike Tyson? I mean, we're going to speak about him in a bit, but is he number 4? Is he? I don't know. Then you got like people like Babe Ruth, Usain Bolt, Roger Federer, Pele, Maradona, Jesse Owens. I don't know. We'll maybe make a video about that, even though it's not necessarily a boxing video. I think it's a good talking point. All right, as per usual, in the description will be the timestamp, so feel free to fast forward on to whatever you want. If you just want to fast forward on to Mike Tyson and not hear me rant about other stuff, then can't blame you, I guess. All right, what's going on in the world of boxing? What's this one? Parker's manager confident deal can be made to face Lucas Browne. Okay. Why? Is there any interest in that fight? I know it's New Zealand versus Australia, and that might be something, but surely these guys are miles apart. Like miles, right? I mean, there was a video that Coogan done, I think a couple of weeks ago, and it was all about Lucas Browne versus Tom Little. And now we're hearing Lucas Browne possibly facing Joseph Parker. I don't know if this is just because, I don't even know where either man is based. I'm guessing Joseph Parker is based in New Zealand and Lucas Browne in Australia. So they're going to have to travel. In my head, I was thinking, is it because they might not be able to travel to America and Europe during this COVID-19 and they can easily travel to each other? I don't know. Is it a big fight for Australian and New Zealand fans? Again, I don't know. But it seems to be a strange one. I do love what Joseph Parker's been doing in this quarantine, those videos. I mean, he is, if you think of a star during the quarantine, if that's anything to go by, then he is that, right? I mean, I'm seeing a new personality I didn't know existed. It's fantastic. So he's not doing any harm to his image. What's this one? Bob Arum will do 4-fight ESPN cards 2-3 times a week starting in early June. Okay, that's soon, right? That's 3 weeks away, early June. That's good, right? I mean, boxing is kind of coming back, people. I'm guessing that will be behind closed doors, obviously, like the UFC did at the weekend. But regardless, I mean, that no one complained about that, right? We all talked, or I did at least, spoke about what it's going to be like with no atmosphere. I thought the fight card was still very, very decent. So I think this is good. I read an article where Bob Arum did say that fighters are going to have to take a hit, and they're going to have to understand that they are going to take a hit in terms of their pay, just because there is no gate receipts, right? There's nothing like that. So obviously that is massive. Well, it's massive for some fighters. Again, some fights. For those that don't bring any big fan base, to the arenas or to the small hall shows. It doesn't impact them at all, but I guess they're still going to take a hit as well, just by the nature of it. So it's good that Bob Arum's saying that. So we are or can expect to see some decent fight cards in 3 weeks' time, which is pretty good, right? LAILA Ali, I'm interested in fighting Claressa Shields. Deal just has to be right. What? What is all this? Like, wait 1 second. Let me have a look at LAILA Ali's. But when did she last even have a fight? Let's have a look at this. Sorry. LAILA Ali box rec. "13 years ago, 2007, she fought Gwendoline O'Neill, who was 12-4 at the time." This is just ridiculous, right? I mean, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. I don't know. I mean, what does she want? Does she want a few million? I mean, would that be a pay-per-view fight for some people in America? I mean, would it just headline a Showtime or ESPN card? Would they think of, because it's LAILA Ali, chuck it on pay-per-view against Claressa Shields? I don't know. To be fair to Claressa Shields, there just isn't much out there for her right now, right? I mean, Cecilia Brækhus is, I don't think, willing to fight, even though Claressa Shields has said, look, I will fight you in your home country and I will come down and wait just to make the fight happen. I just don't think that she's interested in fighting her, if I'm honest with you. So there's not much she can do. If anything, I just feel like, and it's probably, I just don't know, like there seems to be more options for her in MMA, which is crazy, but there seems to be more of that. I mean, there's been talks about an Amanda Nunes fight now for about 6 or 7 months, just because as well, Amanda Nunes is struggling to find opponents in MMA. There isn't much for her to fight. The only real option for her is a lady called Valentina Shevchenko, who fights a weight class below, but they have had a fight before, 2 fights before, I believe, but that's the only other option. But I don't know, both of them are struggling. What's this? Demetrius Andrade. I look forward to fighting Golovkin at one point, not anymore. Yeah, I understand that, right? I mean, some people would still want GGG just to have it on their resume. There are some fighters, right? Even Canelo, still a bit like that, would just take the fight just to have it on a resume. You want to fight the GGG, right? Obviously, that guy no longer exists. I still think it'll be a tough fight for Andrade regardless, even though he's a bit of a mover. I still think if GGG hits him, could be lights out, right? That power, they say, is the last thing to go. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Andrade. I'm not sure. His name's never been really in the mix for the Canelo fight. Never been in the mix for the Golovkin fight. Derevchenko's there. 168, Danny Jacobs. That could be an interesting fight. Obviously, the one that we all want to see is Charlo. I just don't think it looks like that's going to happen, especially now with this COVID-19, right? I think it's even going to be tougher for these fights to happen just because a lot of these fighters are going to want big money to fight each other, and I just don't think the money's there right now with boxing. So we'll see. Bob Arum says, Fury versus Wilder 3 is a wait-and-see fight. I have to be honest. Problems ahead for Wilder and Fury. Yeah, look, it just boils down to the fact that this fight can't happen behind closed doors because the gate is too much. I spoke about this before on numerous videos that the first fight, or the second fight, sorry, made a $17 million gate. You can't have that fight behind closed doors, can you? I mean, it's too big a chunk of money to risk. Even though I don't think the gate for the third fight will be the same, it's still going to do over 10 million. I mean, that's a huge amount of money to be risking at the gate. And unlike, for example, with Pulev Joshua, we've been hearing about that fight going abroad. We've heard nothing with Wilder versus Fury. So that fight, or this fight, can really only happen in the States. And I don't think they're going to have any fights in front of an audience in the States until 2021. And then you wonder, does that break a clause in the contract or anything? So who knows? We might not get to see it. It's a strange one, but we might not. Lucas Matthysse is ready, willing to return for the right fight. There's too much of this in boxing, isn't there? There really is. There's so much of, look, Matthysse done. And actually, I remember the fight that he was done from, and that was that Provodnikov fight. I watched that fight or highlights of it the other day, and that takes years out of you. Years. It's just too much. It's just too much. And I remember, I think after he fought Victor Postal, and he got hit with a punch that MATTHYSSE normally just swallows, right? Like nothing, eats it like Pac-Man. And he went down, he just like shook his head like, I'm done. Then he had the fight with Pac-Man. There's nothing left. There is nothing left with Lucas MATTHYSSE. So when he says willing to return for the right fight, there isn't a right fight for you. Just stay retired, please. His style of fighting just isn't built for longevity. Like, it's literally land one, take one, land one, take one. I'm going to use my face as defense. It just doesn't work like that. So please stop. What's this? Mike Tyson views Sonny Bill Williams fight as an insult to boxing. Wants real boxer. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. Mikey Garcia praises Andy Ruiz's decision to hire Eddie Reynoso. Yeah, I've done some videos on this already. It is a good decision. We just have to wait and see how this decision pans out in the next sort of 12 to 18 months. Does he come back and have a fight with someone in the top 10? He's already spoken openly about wanting, quote unquote, a warm-up fight. So let's see if he gets that one. Does he fight during this COVID-19 behind closed doors? I don't know. Does he take clenbuterol? No one knows what's going to happen, but I, for one, think it's a good decision as well. All right, what's this one? Errol Spence's trainer, the money for the Crawford fight is not there yet. There are some things I want to read and there are some things I don't. I don't want to read that one. Is Errol Spence's trainer his manager as well or something? Like, why is he talking about the money not being there yet? Like, it's weird. We don't hear that from Crawford's trainer, and we don't hear that kind of talk from Terence Crawford. We don't know, do we? Let's be honest. I don't hear Crawford saying the money's not there yet for an Errol Spence fight, or Crawford's trainer saying that. I don't even hear Bob Arum saying that, and he talks about money all the time. Don't hear him saying that. It's not going to happen, is it? That fight's just not going to happen. Money's not there yet. Like, whatever. Fucking hell, it's the fight everyone wants to see, and that's what we hear. That's what makes me laugh about it. I get that you do need an element, not even an element, a lot of casual fans to jump on a fight as well to make it a real big fight where fighters are getting big money, like serious money. You do need a casual element, but I do feel like it's the fight. I think if you was to ask any boxer, right, or any boxing fan right now, that's the fight they want to see more than any fight. That's more than Fury Joshua or even Joshua Wilder. That's the fight. And that should be enough, right? That should be enough to make that fight happen. But no, Errol Spence's trainer is saying the money for Crawford fight is not there yet. By the way, if he's his manager, then I take it all back and I apologize. He's got a right to get involved. But I just hate hearing train. There's so many trainers that seem to be like promoters and managers nowadays. Just fucking train, please. Is that it? I think that's it. That's pissed me off, that has, by the way, just seeing that. I don't know, because everyone will say things like Errol Spence don't want the fight, and it's that kind of talk there that makes people think maybe it's true. Because again, you don't hear that from Crawford's camp. Like, even if Crawford's camp knew the money's not there, because they must kind of think, all right, this is what money's in the pot for that fight. I'm telling you now, feelers have gone out, right? And they kind of know. But you don't hear that talk from Crawford. Crawford just wants that fight. All right, let's talk Mike Tyson for a few minutes. Mike Tyson is teasing everyone now. I don't know what he's doing. He's causing problems on the internet because everyone's telling me Mike Tyson's going to come back and kick people's ass. And I'm like, well, he's 53. He ain't going to do it. And then he releases, it's almost like a little movie trailer. Before we got 5 seconds, I think we got 20 seconds now of him hitting the pads again. And I have to be honest with you, he does look good. He does look in good shape. If you are a professional boxer right now and Mike Tyson at 53 is in better shape than you, and that's a lot of them, then you need to get in better shape, right? There's no way Mike Tyson at 53 should be looking like that and you look like whatever you look like. Now, Mike Tyson smashed the pads once again. I love the background music. It pumped me up. I done press ups immediately. And Mike Tyson, at the end of it, kind of smashed, I'm trying to think what punch it was. Was it a left? It was a right hand. Threw a right hand, looked at the camera, obviously it was staged, and says, "I'm back." Looked menacing. And I was like, what do you mean you're back? Like, what are we talking about now? Is this still an exhibition fight, or has this moved on to something more than an exhibition fight now? Because the way he said, "I'm back," just made me feel like this guy actually wants a real fight. This isn't no, I want an exhibition fight against a couple of ex-rugby players, or maybe you can wheel out, I don't know, Evander Holyfield. I think he wants a real, let's have it. And that's, I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if I like that or not. I'm not going to be a hypocrite to you guys now and say, "Oh, I absolutely hate it," because I will tune in. I will 110% tune in. In fact, if it's on pay-per-view, take my money. Now, that doesn't mean I like it. And that doesn't mean that it's good. It just means that I'm a fight fan, and I would tune in for a fight. If a fight was to happen on the corner of the road, I've got a pub right near me, I would probably watch that as well. It's a fight fan, right? I just don't mind seeing people get it on. But again, by the way he threw that right hand and looked at the camera, as I'm doing to you guys right now, he said, "I'm back." And his eyes were like old Mike, right? You saw that fire. He wants to come back, people. I don't think it's for an exhibition fight either, by the way. He wants a real fight. I think he just wants, almost like what Nigel Benn, in fact, it's exactly like that. When Nigel Benn came back or wanted to come back against someone, he chose Sakio Bika, which is someone that was still, I mean, Sakio Bika, I think, had a fight, I think, a year prior to that. So he's still semi-active, you might say. I think Mike wants something like that. I think he wants a full retirement fight, but with someone of note. I don't think he wants to fight a 58-year-old Evander Holyfield. I really don't. I don't think he wants to fight a Riddick Bowe. I don't think he wants to fight a Lennox Lewis. I think he wants to fight someone active now. People have been saying names like Shannon Briggs. Shannon Briggs is not exactly active. When was the last time Shannon Briggs had a fight? I guess some other questions as well. Shannon Briggs last fought in 2016. Not exactly active himself. I guess some questions going forward. Will he pass a medical? I don't know. I mean, surely at 53, it's going to be difficult for you to be licensed. But I mean, where there's money, there's licenses. Yeah, again, sort of ending on this one, the way he threw that right hand and looked at the camera and said, "I'm back," I think he could be back, people. Again, I don't think it's for an exhibition fight. I think he just wants a real fight, exactly like Nigel Benn did. Yeah, I don't know what to do. But you know what scares me? And I was talking about this when I made the Ben video. If Ben were to have that fight against Sakio Bika, because Ben said he wants that one fight. Remember, all he's saying is, "Well, I wanted one." And I said, what if Ben knocks out Sakio Bika, like clean, first round? Do you think he's just going to say, he's going to say one more? I mean, if they put Mike in with someone and Mike does land something clean, look, if Mike hits you, you're gone, right? You're gone. I don't care who you are, you're gone. If Mike does knock out someone in and around the top 80, let's just go that far out now, he might say, "Oh, well, can you give me someone in the top 60? It just doesn't stop. So I think they need to put this to bed very quickly before it gets out of hand, because it's already getting out of hand now. Because again, we went crazy, some of us went crazy over a 5-second clip and I think a six punch combination. Now he's released a 20-something second clip and numerous combinations, and people have now gone even more crazy. What next? A sparring session? I don't know. Peace and love.